Hello friends, and welcome to another reading lesson with Miss Meadows. I am so excited to be reading with you today. We are trying out a little bit of a different way of looking at our vocabulary words and our anchor chart today, so I hope you enjoy it this way. But let's get right into it today. Our first vocabulary word, repeat after me, is raised. Say raised. Raised is a verb or an action word. If you raised children, you took care of them until they grew up. So, for example, these children in this picture have been raised by their parents. So your grown-ups at home have raised you. Our next word is mark. Say mark. Mark is a verb or action word. When you mark someone's words, you listen carefully to them. So the students know it is important to mark the teacher's words when he explains a new lesson. So if I say, mark my words, you are going to learn a lot today, that would mean that I would expect you to listen carefully to what I'm saying today. Your next word is scold. Say scold. Scold is another verb or action word. If you scold, you speak in an angry way to someone who has done something wrong. So some birds will scold other birds if they come too close, like this bird is scolding this bird for coming too close. Or you might scold your dog if your dog does something that he's not supposed to do. Your next word is limit. Say limit. Limit is another verb or action word. If you limit something, you keep it from getting bigger or having more of it. So drivers must limit their speed to 55 miles per hour on this road to stay safe. Or maybe we limit ourselves to having one treat a day, something like that. Limit. Your next word is pelted. Say pelted. Pelted is another verb or action word. If you pelted something, you threw something at it and hit it. So the family pelted one another with snowballs. So if I threw something like at someone and hit them, like maybe playing dodgeball, I would pelt a ball at them. And I believe that is, nope. Your next word is, this is a fun one. This one is puny. Say puny. Puny is an adjective or a describing word. Something that is puny is small and weak. So the baby rhinoceros right here, look how cute he is. This baby rhinoceros is puny compared to its mother. It's small. So a newborn kitten would be puny. And our last one today is clenched. Say clenched. Clenched is a verb or an action word. If you clenched something, you held it tightly closed. So these friends are clenching their hands around the rope. Make a tight fist for me. Go ahead, make a fist like this and squeeze it really tight. That's you clenching your fist. Very, very good. That's our vocabulary for today. Very good job. Kiss your brain. We are ready to move on. Let's move right along to our anchor chart today. Here's our anchor chart. It is on story structure. Stories often have a similar structure. Authors organize stories in a way that will entertain readers. So you see we've got 3 parts here on our roller coaster. We've got the beginning, the middle, and the end. And you see at the beginning it starts low. By the middle it gets up to the top. And then it gets ready to go back down to the bottom for the end. So in the beginning, the characters face a problem. So there's a problem that needs to be solved. In the middle, when they get all the way up to the top, the middle is made up of events that happen as the characters try to solve the problem. So they got the problem in the beginning. In the middle, they're trying to solve the problem. And then by the end of the story, the end tells the resolution or how the characters solved the problem. All of these parts make up a story's plot. So I want you to think about the beginning, where they get the problem, the middle, where they try to solve the problem, and the end, where they do solve the problem, as we read our story today. Our story today is by David Ezra Stein, the author or the person who writes the words, and it is called Old Mama Squirrel. Now today you don't need your My Book. and you do not need your composition notebook unless you want to take notes on the story. All you need to do is sit and listen and enjoy this story called Old Mama Squirrel and be ready to do a little bit of learning and check your understanding at the end. So our story is Old Mama Squirrel. I hope you enjoy it. Old Mama Squirrel had raised many babies. Mark my words, she'd say, there's no shortage of creatures that would love to snack on a baby squirrel. But it won't happen on my watch. Whenever danger approached, oh, hold on, I gotta be able to see that. Let me move me. Whoop. Whenever danger approached, Mama Squirrel went into action. Chook, 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 she'd say, get away from my babies. Chook, chook, get out of my tree. No one could scold like old Mama Squirrel. The cat or owl that ran afoul of her would slink off looking for some easier meal. One day, while the babies were taking a nap, a nosy dog came sniffing around. Mama Squirrel clattered in the high branches. Chook, chook, chook. She chattered in the low branches. Chook, chook, chook. She scrabbled right side up and upside down while she scolded that dog. Chook, chook, chook. This squirrel is crazy, said the dog. They must have put crazy powder in the nuts around here. Help! Move me one more time. Mama Squirrel did not limit herself to known predators. She scolded kites, chook, 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 and airplanes, chook, chook, chook. She even scolded the man who came to prune the tree. Chook, chook, chook. And that takes care of that, said old Mama Squirrel. One afternoon, while the babies were having a scamper on a high branch, a great growling grizzly bear came to town and climbed into Mama Squirrel's tree. Uh-oh. Mama Squirrel sprang into action. Let's see if you can read this part now. What does this say? Good job. Get out of my tree. Your turn, go. Get away from my babies. She clattered in the high branches and chattered in the low branches as she scolded that bear. And she pelted him with last year's nuts. Plonk. The bear was shocked, but then he laughed. Why should I listen to one puny squirrel like you? I'll eat your whole family tree. A twitch of fear went through old Mama Squirrel's whiskers. But then she clenched her jaw. Not on my watch, Buster, said old Mama Squirrel. She scooped up her babies and went to raise the alarm. Your turn, go. By the fire escape. Your turn, go. Under the tracks. Your turn, go. In the tops of trees. Your turn, go. All over the park. The grizzly was just sticking his nose into Grandpappy Squirrel's nest hole when old Mama Squirrel got back. Your turn, go, said old Mama Squirrel. Go, said 20 other Mama Squirrels. Go, said 100 more Mama Squirrels. And they scolded him high and scolded him low and threw old nuts at him until he ran away and never came back. And that takes care of that, said old Mama Squirrel. The people of the town were grateful to old Mama Squirrel. They even put up a plaque on the spot where she scolded the grizzly. If you're ever in town, you should go see it. Your turn, go. Very good job. I hope you enjoyed that story today. I'm going to move me over to the side and I'm going to show you what you're going to do next. So you should have this paper. Your teacher should have it out for you. I'm going to describe what you're going to do on it today. You are going to first write the title of our story right here, which remember is Old Mama Squirrel. If you need help spelling that, remember in this video you can go back and find the title and copy it here. So you can write Old Mama Squirrel here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the beginning problem here, the middle events here, so what happens in the middle of the story where they try to solve the problem, and then the ending here where they do solve the problem. So remember, the beginning is when they find the problem, the middle is where they try to solve the problem, and the end is where they do solve the problem. And you can either write sentences or you can draw pictures. It is up to you and what you feel comfortable doing. But if I'm thinking back in the story, I'm thinking, okay, in the beginning of the story, Old Mama Squirrel's problem was what? What was Old Mama Squirrel trying to prevent from happening? She was trying to stop something from happening. She didn't want anything eating her. What do you think? So draw that picture there. And then in the middle, what was the problem that she discovered that she was trying to solve? Who came to the tree that was trying to eat the squirrels? Who was that? And draw a picture of that happening here. And then at the end, how did she keep that person from eating the baby squirrels? How did she keep that animal or character from eating the baby squirrels? Draw this picture, and once you get that checked off by your teacher that you did it and you are good to go, then you are free to carry on with your day and do your next task. I'm so proud of you. Great job learning today, and I cannot wait to read with you again tomorrow. I hope I see you at some point today. Have a great rest of your day.